as well. FUT versus Liquid. And starting off on Breeze, it's the first time that we've seen FUT play it in the VCT this year, Liquid's pick. And something we want to talk about at length, I think, with these two is the different read of double duelist that we're seeing from each of them.
Yeah, Liquid have been Breeze merchants, let's be honest, 7 times already, including Masters Santiago's. FUT now go and try to find something through mid. Could catch the spike in transition, but Camo getting the information that's needed. And the players start to move out on towards B.
Exactly, it's where Liquid now start to take some of those liberties, and that's already lurking through A in the meantime. SOP with the first action of this pistol round, but Minibu equal in return. Both smoke players sent out of the round by a Neon.
Yeah, but FUT now being dragged towards B, but the spike is heading A.
And that is where Yetije finds himself in an interesting position to try and disrupt this rotation. Minibu equally so. He's still yet to be plucked out of backside B, and this is where the problems start to pick up for FUT. At the same time, SOP and Yetije combining, and that spins it to a 3v2.
Yetije, though, is very close to the A site. He could be a big disruption, but look at Nats, the forward position.
Is he going to catch Crostali? Just playing with a little bit of discipline here, the youngster into the team. But he does get caught out, and now it's a 2-on-2. Nats trying to mastermind a pistol round for Liquid here. Has a general scope of where these players now are, as the plant is for him in this deep position in the bridge. Purpo yet to be dug out from main, and as the time ticks down, someone's got to get to work. SOP on the one angle where he's somewhat safe, but even that is just an illusion. Nats pulling off a masterclass in the pistol to lend Liquid an early lead.
Yeah, well, Liquid have a very good record on this map. 1 at 5 out of the 7 times that they have played it. The fans here to support them, to put themselves in that best possible position, to be the kings of this group. You can already see how good FUT are playing off one another in this one. It's a chaotic round, but one which they almost fight their way back into.
Waiting for their match against Pacific later. We'll know that all too well from the Abyss Overtime 2K.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's out for punishment on this round. Just the bandit on SOP for FUT.
Really depends on where Team Liquid go here, because as you can see, a storm brewing towards one side of the map. So Team Liquid's wait for FUT to come and push them, give them a decision to make, one which often than not, Nats makes the right one.
And that's the thing, if we're looking at Liquid this stage as well, we've got to be calling them for what they are in this situation, where they're actually the ones probably defining the current meta rather than being influenced by it. I think back to them being some of the earliest Waylay adopters that we had seen in the region. Now they've moved away from it. And speaking of moves, they are starting to head towards this FUT stack of players, all 5 players on the A site.
Yeah. Team Liquid need to be careful and make sure to check every nook and crevice under the floorboards and maybe even in the roofs. As we can see, FUT are hiding in every corner, and Team Liquid are deep within the site. The trap not being activated, but already one of the players being found. Round the corner they go. It seems like this is going to be fairly easy for Team Liquid in the end. Only one remaining. That's the captain Sociable, and he'll go on. Nicely done by Team Liquid.
Yeah, very diligently cleared. The A site on Breeze, of course. It's seen its changes with the map coming back into the pool after an extended absence, one of the longest departures that we've seen. I think that's something I want to see from this Liquid team as well as we head into the first gun round. What's the decision making like if they get into that situation where FUT do have weapons? Are you taking the extra backside control? What do you give up? What do you keep? Looking like 5 players strong at the barriers yet again. Zeus is here, but no scoped weapon, just the rifle in his hands.
Plenty of targets as well. Does have the Sova behind him. Oh, drone will clear out. It's going to be Crostali to hold, but Zeus yet to be cleared. It will be Minibu to do it. Nice entries and still alive on 5 HP.
Now, looking at the setup here, yeah, FUT
Right here.
setting up for a retake. I mean, Yetije is still on the other side of the map. It's a long rotation for him, and with Sociable dead, should maybe be thinking about a save here now. And yeah, Yetije 1v5, that is likely to be the case. Strong bonus round. from
Very,
Liquid.
very strong. Nicely done as well. The fact that they come in straight away, a nice way to like try and take that main, right? But the problem is though, you see Crystalli just standing in the middle and you're waiting for Zeus to activate, but he activates far too late.
Yeah, I guess so. I think at the end of the day, Crystalli is baiting there to break the drone so
I get that.
Zeus has the fair fight. The difference then is just the entry work on the Liquid side. When you've got a Neon sliding at you, you have to be able to handle that. And with it being an in-zone flawless, it only gets better from here for Liquid.
Yeah, that's the thing. Something that we've not necessarily seen from FUT just yet is that iconic aggressiveness, especially on the defense, especially on Breeze, right? Sometimes you really have to be pushing to take control of that space on this map. Make sure you have, like, eat into that information deficit it sometimes feels like. And once again, you can see this is Team Liquid's game plan. They're expecting something like this, so they stop, they wait for that aggression, and right now, FUT aren't playing into their hands.
Interesting to see such passivity from a team which defined themselves so far in the stage through that raw aggression that you were talking about. I understand that this isn't a round where you have the weapons to really enable it, but that was the big talking point from the desk a week ago. You know, that their key to victory would be cementing what that identity is, and I think we need to see that follow up in the big games, you know? Liquid are naturally the next biggest test that they will get, and the same can be said the opposite way around. So if you change up your play going against them, it might not just work for you, and you can already see here it's another A site taken by Liquid. Easy enough entry, and FUT, another retake.
Yeah, all four ready for FUT to come back in towards the site, but realistically, you're not expecting too much here. I thought they'd be waiting for the spike to explode. And even then, advanced positions stop Liquid from encroaching. Wayne interested though, and look at this, little set piece, nice pop of the flash, and just like that, Miniboot gets his hands dirty. Zeus at the double, makes it interesting, and he even walks away with a third. So, look, damage on the board for FUT, but it's a drop in the puddle when you look at the amount of money that Liquid have already racked up. Yeah, not only that, it's starting to rack up the ultimates. That's the big game there in terms of sending players forward, because then they start to get even more important pieces for later on in this half when it gets to important rounds like the next one we have coming up, because FUT are on a bad eco cycle. For every round you win, the next round will be an eco. So this is where you invest your ultimates if you're Team Liquid. SOP does have the operator.
And we're yet to see this deviation of having the Viper towards A since the early rounds, so should be an easy way in here for Liquid as they're looking to hit the site 5 strong yet again. Miniboot barreling through. FUT off the back of it do trade out. Sociable with the double from the corner, but Camo just relaying that information back to where the captain stands. And speaking of, Nats will try and put him back on his feet, but it's short-lived.
Yeah, 1 versus 2, operator now on the A site. That spike's going to be hard to pick up.
Nats with a wall and an orb though. There are tools at his disposal to play around the site here.
My ultimate isn't ready.
Quick delay on the spike plant. Just searching out any kind of a push from FUT, but absolutely no reason to give him what he wants.
Now with that spike being attempted though, both FUT players are going to start to make their way in.
Oh, Nats is just pinned through the Viper wall. He doesn't get half a swing at it. Yetajay, too intelligent. Nice combination between the two there. And so the first successful attempt on reprisal at the A site here.
Really comes through Sociable's heroics here. Sure, you get a nice little trade coming through, or just at least being able to get 1. But 3 in main is criminal from Sociable. Obviously one of them the downed KO, right? That eventually SOP does finish off. But yeah, Team Liquid now need to be careful because that's FUT coming back into the game.
And with you talking of heroics, is that something which is replicable here for FUT? They do have 3 ults, as you say.
I think I missed it in the last round, but Minibu using his ultimate as well, right? So that's a big loss.
FUT's, I mean, Liquid's still with tools here, though, and I mean, if Zeus is taking that fight dry into elbow, there could be problems. Liquid are now Salting towards the site itself, in through the TP. Wayne up top, drops in, finds Sociable. Nat's following it in due course as well, and Sop having to keep this backside space as much as he possibly can. Oh, wow! And with the shock of the feet of Camo, that's it, wrapped up surely. Purpo's got a whole lot to do with 2 players left to find in main and no spike.
Yeah, really needs to make it work for him. The fact he has to go toe-to-toe with 2 players. He does have time to work with, though, and that's why we're seeing him go around the world here on Breeze.
Sova player on a long wrap in a clutch. Where have we seen this before? Now, I've got to say, 45 seconds is a hefty amount of time, but there gets to a point when FUT start to think about it, and you can already see the cogs turning for Yetajay. He's having an explore down mid.
Yeah, but does he think it's... Does he think he's saving, or is it, like, is that why he's going towards the A side? He's left Crystalli all alone here.
It all comes down to the footstep timing, and Purpo may have just played an absolute blinder. Crystalli has no idea, and Purpo, of course, you're going to look for that second player. He won't find Yetajay anytime soon as he's on the other side of the map, but this is the duel that he's got to win. And Crystallian backing himself into a corner can defend it.
Crystalli's a lucky boy, I'll tell you. FUT are lucky that Purple never pulled the trigger early. Understand the trigger discipline, fair enough to go for it, but that is the one thing that has actually cost him the round.
He's going to hate to see that back in VOD review. Everyone watching, coaching staff as well, if he'd have just got that kill, there was a fair chance at the 1v1. But it happens. FUT 2 rounds in a row, and that has to be something to think about here. They've got enough money for the op now, and Sop immediately out on this midline, spotted.
I love it, honestly, looking for that aggression, but look at Zeus at the same time, walking down mid and cutting off that space. Nat should have an idea, and he's searching for it.
Here in support as well, but Zeus will land the all-important shot. This 1-2 punch that we were talking about on FUT, starting to show signs of life, but not before Miniboo has anything to say about it. He's the next one chasing up this play on A as Liquid intensifying in their efforts. Crystalli still backed up towards the orange box, but he's holding down his ground as well. Purpo the last man standing, and while the clutch is a little more beyond him this time, he does have the health to support it. Not the positioning though. Zeus will catch him, and it's a 1-round lead.
The Turkish Giants have certainly woken up, and again it comes through Sop's aggression that you see the map work round that, and it feels like such a pivot point, right? That early point in the map, getting the early point in the round, getting the Opry out, getting the shot out, making Team Liquid scared of it, and then Zeus moving at the exact same time. It's lovely stuff from FUT.
It's the difference in macro as well. Where previously with your Yoru, you could just stay extensively on these limits of the map with an op and have that control, whereas now you really need to reinforce it with numbers, and that's how FUT are playing this double duelist.
Team Liquid are looking to change the pace up though, ready to hit straight in towards A, but thank God Yetajay's here.
You say change up, how many times have we seen Liquid brute force? Doesn't feel like they're willing to interact with the ebbs and flows of the map sometimes, and Miniboo again finds another entry kill, but as the wall comes crumbling down, there's players in behind, and Sociable even on the backstab of this own site take is going to drop 2 bodies and leave Nats again in a 1 versus 3, which he'll give a go. He does find the first, but Sop's right in there to trade it out. Blink and you'll miss it. From 4 rounds to start off the half, it's 4 back from FUT.
All even. Remember, this is a series where FUT can qualify to playoffs so early on. Yeah, really nice stuff all in. And you can just see how confident the players are. And I think, Hazza, if we come out this replay, you'll see this is our first timeout coming in this matchup.
Nice! It's going to be the first from our coach.
Exactly, but I think as well, it's not just FUT's aggression, it's how dynamic they are in doing it as well, using different points. I mean, even just being anchors and playing off of one another. Once again, Liquid want to go back towards A, and you can see Sociable trying to walk out, but he does give the first entry. Team Liquid taking that space. Crystalli coming in and at least getting a double.
Yeah. Liquid immediately able to punish some of that FUT aggression. That's hanging around in middle, but Zeus catches it. Oh, and Sop finds the follow-up as well. So with Spike dropped at the mouth of A main, Miniboo the one this time left to try and do it, would need an ace clutch.
Yeah, but it's against Zeus and Yetaji. Two highlights from last year. Where's Miniboo going? He's going looking. Spike's still on the ground, and FUT will have control of that in a minute.
He's following the footsteps of where these players would have been. The thing is, FUT are a step ahead in that regard. They've already re-cleared out through middle into main and sit behind where the spike is right now. Miniboo doesn't really leave himself much of an opportunity to make this workable. He still has full fuel on the high gear, but 30 seconds for that reposition.
30 seconds
Trying to wrap around, thinking that someone could be backside, but as we already know, and you can see on the map, still has that really bolt, the concuss on the neon, and with both players being close, you could get high value.
Has to land it though, and just doesn't anticipate the position, doesn't leave himself long enough. A bit of a misread there in the 1v2, but FUT playing that fantastically.
Advantage taken. Can they convert that into an advantage into the next half? This is lovely from Crystalli, catching Team Liquid off guard when they try to take a moment to pause.
And that's the thing too, it's what Lohan was talking about in the response there, that Liquid were the ones heating up sometimes. And when you're against these cerebral teams like NRG, like Mates, that want to really bring the pace down sometimes, you don't want to get sucked into those fights where possible. Next gun round, it's an early pit on the B side of the map, but Liquid's still just defaulting around this.
Information from the knife as well, there was the Jet and the Omen seen through those double doors. But you can see Team Liquid are exploring a different part of the map now, all the way up elbow. And it's going to have to be Sop to hold down the back part of that pit.
Has the Outlaw, and every single player is a one-shot target to this gun. So there's the first. Sop staying on the line after finding Miniboo. So gun picked back up by Wayne. So this spread default now starts to linger into the A side, and with Zeus putting Nats to the chopping block. FUT looking like they're moving up to a 6th here without much trouble, but it is still rifles in the hands of the remaining players.
That's the big part of this. Zeus now on the line.
He's just waiting for that first player in, and the next will follow it up. Camo throws his hat into the ring. A whole shot through it. It just feels like the spacing on this round for Liquid's been a little bit tough, right? You know, they're spread up, they're trying to find these kills, but it's worked against them where FUT are offering engagements, 1v1s.
Yeah, Purple just wondering if there was going to be, that audible was going to have a swing head his way, but with time so low, and the players still with rifles in their hand, it will be FUT up towards 6, a massive point in this first half, considering the first 4 rounds went Team Liquid's way.
Oh, look at Sop. He's straight into spawn. He spotted both targets. He'll find only one of them. Purple will be lucky to live after time, and he will.
Okay, keeps that rifle in towards the next one, something that could be a saving grace for Team Liquid's economy. But the biggest part here, they've got ultimates. That's the big thing, right? Miniboo has the overdrive, overdrive back. So got to be looking at that. He's a real highlight so far. His entry work, excellent.
Oh, kill him.
Last round of the half, and with FUT finding 6 in a row, Liquid have really slowed down the momentum here. See Yetaji solo guarding B. This could be a real issue.
It could, especially with Sop looking to go towards elbow, but the players of Liquid don't think about it. The molly did get off, and now Sop trying to take up guard once again. Has heard the neon. Is there anyone else from main? There is, it's Nats, but that pit's not going to allow Zeus's operator now getting involved, and FUT are here to start the retake. Wayne in a corner, trying to hold on, manages to escape, holding on, but it goes. It's up to Camo and Nats now. Spike's still not down, and Nats can't leave the pit. In fact, Team Liquid have left the site.
He's just sitting in main, waiting for some kind of a re-clear, a re-wrap back through middle, perhaps. Camo spots the op, he's got to leave. FUT are all here and ready to defend this.
That they are. They're waiting for it. No more flashes on Camel either, but does at least manage to take Sociable off guard. The Blades of Zeus cutting away at Liquid's chances in this one. This is up to Nats to clutch up once again, and we know what he can do. Of course we do, as he gets the first pretty easily. Shots being fired his way. 20 seconds left, needs to get that spike down, at least attempt it. But it's Sop and Crostali you're up against, and they'll of course finish out this round. Advantage for FUT in the next half.
That 7th is now secured for them, and it's 7 rounds in a row which Liquid have yet to disrupt. I've got to say, it reminds me a lot of their performances in kickoff on this map. I mean, even Santiago against some of those teams like NRG when they're just getting absolutely slammed. And when that momentum starts to hit, there's no way for them to break it down, it feels like. There's no second plan.
Still, those ultimates yet to be used, and with the last round of the half, this feels like a powder keg ready to explode, especially with Miniboo so far up, but Zeus is on the hunt. He's behind them, and he's already got rid of Nats. Camo and Wayne at least making sure that Team Liquid have the sight and should get the spike down.
Bit of patience in position here, though, from Liquid, waiting for those pushes, catching another of them on the FUT side now.
You can see that Purple as well wants to play for that Hunter's Fury very deep, but that leaves the players on site a little bit weak in terms of support. So it's just up to Camo, and he's calling for Purple to get into position. Now in towards main, that's been identified, but Purple manages to spam through the smoke. Camo not winning his duel. It's a 2 versus 1, and it's the Hunter's Fury he has to depend upon. The boat's not hitting.
He missed!
Yetigy is just holding on! It's 8 for FUT, and Team Liquid, after 4 ulties, can't convert the round.
How on earth did he miss the ult? I mean, maybe a miscommunication on where it was planted, but that is something that you rarely see. He had both shocks as well, and that's a rough way for things to go for Liquid as FUT have an 8-4 lead here. Let's hear how they are finding life so far in Stage 1 with some wise words from Nats.
Bro, where's the bomb? I don't know where the bomb is.
I think that's the big
Beating the top contender in your own group.
Yeah, you do, right? You have to beat the form team, it has to be said. That's exactly what FUT are at the moment, and they move on towards the attack. And well, if you want to speak about the captain, he's the first one under fire, and already starting to run away.
Just knowing when to give up this space, because look at the rest of Liquid. Snaking their way through spawn. Yetigy has cottoned on to this idea and repositioning inside the defender's smoke. Ooh. He does walk away with one, but that won't be enough.
Well, not, but at least FUT have the information to adjust. He's just going for the fight.
And that's just holding down the line. It's a luxury for him. Zeus walks straight into the crosshair, and this retaking pack of players in through middle is now starting to cut its way into the site. Sop advanced, trying to hold this aggressive line as much as possible. Good for a little bit of delay, but only 1 kill on the trade. So FUT continuing to trail in this situation. Crostali sat in the back of sight, and that's where the plant is. 4 FUT's advanced position, they get nothing from it. And Liquid with another pistol round.
Yeah, I would have loved for Yetigy to drop off after they got that pick, but Team Liquid so good in their planning for these pistol rounds. You can see straight away, as soon as Nats feels the pressure, there's the response from that B side of the map. And I think as well, when it comes to that site fight, you can just feel FUT a little bit panicked in the way, and everybody taking individual duels, which just favours Team Liquid.
Confidence. Why even this round, it feels that we won it without the confidence.
So Nat's asking for confidence in his own players to go and take those duels.
And that's what it's all about, right? It's exactly what I was talking about as we came out of the halftime. Need to find a little bit of inspiration here because they are heavily on the back foot, but we've seen them recover these kinds of situations before. On the defender's side, it's a lot more difficult. Burpo just shouldering mid, and as you can see, FUT have already congregated in this position. Miniboo does catch information that they've progressed as far as elbow by now.
You can see a smoke just being dropped there, but FUT are already far by it. So mid completely in their control, and you can see Team Liquid trying to reinforce that B site, but it's all a ruse.
Just huddling outside of the doors, and Purpo's got a lot of targets to hit. The burst fire on the Bulldog here. It potentially could struggle if there's multiple targets running right down at him at once. We'll see how much he can possibly get. First couple shots not going to land. Drops off with a recon dart available.
Yeah, and with the wall up now, you can see that spike perhaps going down. Big information though.
Huge and great chip damage from those shot darts as well. That's right in behind this. And with FUT put through the tenderizer, you would think they'd get dropped, but it's down to the 2-on-2, now just the 1. Sociable without a weapon, but smokes to support. Has to get this timing right. Wayne spotted him just eclipsing the edge of that smoke. And the plant out in the open is ill-advised. Still some good damage there for FUT, all things considered, but Liquid have their second of this half.
Yeah, and they'll be glad for it. I thought the spike would have went down at least, just to put that added pressure of time on towards Team Liquid. You can hear the fans have found their voice again after that round win. A bit of a tense affair.
I would let you live, but that does not...
Liquid well supported in these parts, as you say, the fans have descended upon the arena even in this sunny Berlin atmosphere, of which feels like a rarity at times, but bright skies on the horizon perhaps for the defenders, as who has been targeted here by the knife, but Sop just serves him up.
Exactly. FUT though, uncharacteristically, going to take a break, wait to see what Team Liquid want to do. They have to go and look and get the numbers back in their favor.
And this is exactly something they need to be able to show us. A bit of an adaptation in these moments. I was talking earlier in the map about finding their identity, but it's from advantageous positions where they struggled the most in kickoff. They have one here. And searching for another. Camo digs in his pockets to find the knife and try and work out what this broader picture looks like. It only results in his own death, leaving only Purpo behind.
Yeah, that drone not going to find him though, so he's in a point that he could try and work with, especially hidden behind the fast lane, but FUT scales slowly here.
Gotta go.
Yeah, still just taking their time.
There.
First 2 kills of the round going their way with a pause in between.
30 seconds
You
left.
see right now as well on the map that Sociable's taking his time to get across as that spike goes down. Utility not hitting. Purple and Wayne just holding things down. That's late. And doesn't get that kill. So 3 versus 4 now.
You can see Liquid's retake success sitting at 31%, and I would say that's about their chances here, if not lower, with the weapons that they have. Purpo the only one on a pistol, but it's just the sheer numbers that you've got to chew through that make this a problem. And look, if FUT are going to get access to site as easy as this, and Liquid are playing for retaking a number of these rounds, that's when the problems continue to pop up for them. Purpo the next to go out of the round, and that's not too far behind. That's 9 for FUT.
1 away from double digits, and that's when you start to see the finish line in sight if you're FUT. And not only is there Team Liquid fans, they're FUT fans getting themselves loud as well to try and push their team towards a finish here. Remember, Team Liquid's pick in this top of the table clash. And we come straight back in, Hazza, in a rifle round that could ultimately decide this map.
Yeah, it really feels like we've got to that point now, because that was the bonus, of course, for Liquid that we just saw. It's not worked out for them. And now FUT, again, putting this heavy price on A main control with Sop leading the line. The Outlaw tags on to Nats, 10 HP. What on earth is Liquid's in-game leader supposed to do with that? He continues to call away orders, as you can see them now re-clearing into mid. The door opening heard by Sop, who only has 20 HP himself, but will still walk away with a kill. Traded indirectly through Minibu.
Yeah, and that's also only on 10 HP, so that's at least the even in between both teams. FUT slowly making their way towards B, and that's slowly making his way over.
Broadly playing a 2-2 with mid completely forfeited now. Camo has the knife queued up, just spotting the edge of the corner, but Sociable's already so far advanced. He's got to be careful not to get caught here. feedback does back up with the judge eventually, and as Nats arrives, his timing could not be better. Cutting off the cross, Sociable's already made it inside the site, but now something's got to happen for FUT. Reached 30 seconds and still no progress on the site itself. Sop goes down and all the rest cut out behind him. Liquid doing really well to respond from an early setback.
You can feel the tension within the server, within the arena. Very big round for Team Liquid to win, especially when you've got purchases like a judge in the server. Miniboo does excellently to catch out Yetaji. Stop those, I guess, like the big part of the controller game on Breeze. To go. FUT all immediately straight after that round though. Pressing the button, going for the timeout.
Yeah, when you look at the composition which FUT are playing here, of course, I mentioned you can see between them already how much impact they've been able to have. 17 and 16 kills. And it's that gap close that Jet then provides you with the dash as well, and one of the reasons why she is still somewhat in favor on this map. FUT keeping it straightforward out of the pause. Looks like they want to go straight for an A hit. 5 players at the gate. Sop with the ult though. Has to wait for the knife to finish before he can pop it.
And Melody straight through in towards backside though. Can't catch Nats off guard. Not like that. A triple kill now. It's Team Liquid. Look for a flawless round. Just Zeus in the middle with nowhere to go. An end zone flawless for Team Liquid.
And that's exactly where the partnership we were just talking about needs to show its strength and improvement over the weeks. Because Sop comes flying in here, Zeus has dashed into the middle of the site, but as Nats paths around the corner, there is no tradability. Zeus frozen in position in the end, trying to find anyone else. But Liquid handling it beautifully. That's now 4 from 5, and with the buy broken, FUT's back is to the wall.
2 rounds ago, it seemed like Team Liquid were on the precipice of something awful happening. But now it's the other way around, FUT falling away on towards an equal buy.
You've got to be looking at the fact that Nats still has the pit here as well in the follow-up round. If FUT want to go for another fast play, that can very quickly make life difficult for you.
Shadows traveling.
FUT scaling slowly here. This information from the drone will at least catch the Viper, but that could be a luck. And Zeus's blades slowly make their way up through mid. You look towards that B site, there's only 2 players, and as if they're all alone.
Yeah. 2 players coming in from main as well. What a shot from Camo. Zeus with a head taken clean off. But FUT still creeping closer and closer to B. Finally, starting to think better of it, actually. And now at this stage in the round, with this, being a half investment at best, you're looking for a way in more than anything else.
30 seconds left.
There you are, Sociable's been deposited as a joker towards the late rounds as he holds on towards that portion of the map. As well, the rest of the bodies of FUT work towards that site portion. And it's up against the main villain, as it always seems to be in VCT. Nats holding on towards site, trying to deny FUT any opportunity of a post plan, but he's denied his life. That spike can go down now.
Oh, if it doesn't get body blocked by Sop. Very close in the end, but with a second to spare, FUT in this position. The only second layer is from middle, a very deep post plant.
Yeah, it is only pistols. That's the big thing for Team Liquid coming back in. But obviously, Miniboo using his ultimate here, and that's what's going to get him the kill. Yetaji through mid gets one of his own, though, and it should be something easy for FUT, and it will end up being, for Team Liquid. 4 on the round, but they still had to use that big ultimate from Miniboo.
Yeah, I think Miniboo's quite happy to just farm the ecos here, though, with the overdrive. And when you look at this one for FUT as well, Crostali had the Hunter's Fury, but no real window to use it. This is crazy from Camo. Just as soon as a pixel changes color, he pulls the trigger. And coming back to the Miniboo point, it doesn't feel like he's had a standout performance so far, but he's been fulfilling his role entirely in the sense that he's always creating space for the team, always giving them that follow-up. And with it at 9-9 now, he brings the operator back out against Sop.
Big Brother Brew watching on after his successful result yesterday, hoping that Miniboo can shows the goods here as well. 22 kills so far in the first map is something to behold.
Yeah. Right, and these are the kind of numbers that get you excited if he has found his place in the team, which he really did in kickoff.
Yeah.
It's that selfless entry which Liquid require, as Sop has been doing the heavy lifting for FUT in that regard right now. His op finds a kill on B, and that's where Miniboo repositions.
He's looking for one more up against the operator of Miniboo. Still one more close by. That was Wayne. But look at the spike. This is just cloak and dagger stuff. Sop tries to get away. He's just now played in through mid.
Oh, this is perfect. Wayne is taking his timing while all of this is happening as well, following it up, taking as much space as is possibly being given. Well, it's not been the best of games for him so far. A chance to make something happen. He'll just swing at the chance to take down Sop. That will be enough main control for Liquid.
30 seconds
Yeah, he is known about and one shot from Zeus to get the post plant settled. So 4 versus 3 retake with an operator on Miniboo will be an issue.
And Yetajay just holding the elbow line. Miniboo has to try and flick to find this, looking to drop in but can't do it. 6 feet under instead. And Yetajay leading FUT towards a 10th here as he will find another kill on Tanat. Only Purpo left standing 1v4. So FUT starting to go through the motions as they do respond eventually and make sure that this goes down to the wire as we head into the last few rounds of this second half.
Yeah, the drought of rounds finally gets broken by FUT on towards double digits. But
yeah, Camo's been doing this same shoulder spot a couple of times now, and where it's looked like he's been a bit exposed, that's the first time he gets fully punished for it.
Adaptations. You can see that FUT haven't lost any of the energy that they built up from that first half, especially when now we get towards the ultimate side of this half. Miniboo looking for an early peak. There was players to be found, but just not in his crosshairs. And that's what he hasn't realised yet as they drop off on B site. Pressure may be applied on towards A.
Yeah, interesting. We get that cross-map knife as well from Camo. One of the reasons why this agent has seen picks is because of the fact that you want to shape your macro off the back of it, and well, FUT, they're all in on B.
Straight away, Zeus the one to be the entry, supported by Sop, and these two, man, the entry is just so good. Miniboo under pressure, can't quite make the op work, and won't make the shorty work either. So Camo now, it's all up to him, but it's a Zeus double that unlocks the site. Spike to go down, and the last 2 players saving, FUT are up to 11.
This is why a few people, which man mentioned, had FUT as a dark horse, because what you're doing is you're bringing in someone who did have in-game leading experience in Sociable to, you know, rework it, take away the old FUT that we saw, and you just give that secondary support to Zeus, and I feel like that's an individual confidence boost for him as well. Some of these fights that he's taking, he knows that if I go down, I've got Sop right behind me, or vice versa, most of the time.
Yeah. I think like the management staff for FUT have to have a pat in the back here in terms of the work that they've done outside of the server to bring the players in, like Sop, like Sociable, right? The fact that they've been able to build this roster back up, it feels so rejuvenated, right? And that's the big part here. So up to 11 are FUT. Only 2 rifles saved for Team Liquid.
Looks like they've been able to swing this one back under their control when it looked to get out of hand. That's the sort of thing that you want to see from this FUT team. But on the Liquid side of things, of course, this is something that the desk were talking about in depth earlier, that this is the first real big test that they're getting in this group, right? The reason why they're not qualifying if they win today, based on the fact that the teams they previously played...
Jump on him. Nice!
Went on to lose their games as well.
Come on, man!
Good calls. And so when we look at the fixture list for this team, it doesn't exactly get any easier from it. I mean, I think when you look at the rest of this series, any win for FUT in the opening 2 gives you confidence as it carries on towards Lotus at the back end, and to find Breeze more than anything else. It was a weakness of Liquid's map pool on the global stage, but back domestically is where you really want to see them kick on. And where they have done so far.
So Team Liquid are using utility to take A main right now, which is nice because now they know that part of the map's clear. So they can start to move elsewhere, read into what FUT's game plan, but what FUT have been doing is taking mid and using this as a pivot point. Do they want to put pressure on B, go A, put pressure on A and go B, or even go one step further and go towards the top of the map, like Sociable here?
Sociable actually calling for a second player. It's Zeus that's going to join him. Miniboo cowering in this corner. Has to puff out his chest and find these frags. He's been the best player on Liquid so far in Breeze, but without his services in round 21, might just be what FUT need.
But it's completely broken the back of Team Liquid. They don't know what to do. A question mark in spawn, and they try to clear that.
And because of that top mid control, you're so worried about the threat of A and the wrap back around that it drags Purpo. He's interested, so is Nats. And only then, once FUT have already made it into the site, does he then start to recapture that position and actually find Sociable on the spam.
Yeah, an unbelievable round that's been called, but Nats at least bringing something back in their favour. The pit dropped, a real problem to try and defumigate.
Oh, Nat's still here trying to offer relief against Sop, but he's in the eye of the storm now. Back to the Viper's Pit, a place which he would call home, but it's been repossessed by FUT. He is fully relying on this main control from the rest of his team coming up with the goods, but Yetajay is holding down the line. He'll get caught sleeping on the angle. Crostali with a quick trade. Do they know about camo? Doesn't seem to be the case just yet, but Crostali snaps onto it and will take 12.
Map point on Liquid's pick. We said it coming into this. Liquid have been Breeze, Merchants has a... But right now, it feels like it's completely gone awry. Oh, what should be the banker, should be the pick for Team Liquid, going FUT's way at this moment in time. We go into the next round, just barely a bye.
Come on! Nice!
I mean, I'm still thinking about those 8 rounds at the end of the first half, but can't dwell on it for too long. Liquid are all in on A. This defender's side could very much live or die on what Camo's able to do. Walks away with a couple. Wayne also involved, but it's a 2-on-2 when the dust settles.
Spike going straight down here. Purple using his ultimate early doors, but he's got nothing from it.
Oh, that's repositioning to just support this push on down. Yetajay already in the corner. Drone there showing disrespect. Snaps onto Nats, and buries Purpo with him. Probably apply even a little bit more scrutiny because now they are the ones probably favoured to go ahead and take this series.
Yeah, well, there you go. Team Liquid have only lost 1 pistol out of the last 10 that they've played, so probably looking to do more of the same here as Nats. Needs to be watching themselves here. You can already see that FUT want to get rid of him, and while the spike goes down, advantage towards FUT. So straight through, the players from the AGO go in towards A lobby. Another pick in the favour of the defender's side. But still that time ticks away. Camo with a lovely shot, but not long for this world. Now a 2 versus 4. A little bit troublesome, but Wayne still gets a couple of his own. You can see towards main. It's up to Purple to clutch. A 1 versus 1, and Sociable just sticks it. Ends up being a Team Liquid round win, but has a FUT in such a beneficial position and can't convert.
Yeah, I mean, that feels like a fumble from them, but Liquid did so well to take the B site almost instantaneously. And now, we talk about that stat there, that they are such a great pistol team. And I think that's been evident ever since Lohan and Yaltsin came in as the coaching staff here. Always preparing something, very heavy on the ante at times, and just exploiting a gap in the middle of the map, I suppose, with the double TP from Wayne and Miniboo just dashing in.
Taken out.
I think that's what you want to see here too. Yes, it is FUT's map pick, but I think there's plenty of tape on this one.
I mean, for either team, right? If you've played Haven for so long, Team Liquid starting to move their way towards C, and Yetajay has just caught that. And that's why you're seeing FUT for a minute, start to go towards mid. It's Nats once again all alone. So I'm wondering if this is part of the game plan, looking to isolate that one duel that they know will be lagging behind the rest of the pack.
Sop does get detected by the alarm bot though, so a little bit of hindrance in FUT's plans in this situation. I know about the window presence. Liquid worried that someone may have been left behind, so best just to increase the velocity at which they're taking the C site. But very quick to react, they are ready for this, and with Yetashe the first to find a kill on the way back through.
Oh.
Sociable following it up, there might be a problem here for Liquid. Looking at the guns, running dry. Pistol and a Bulldog left here. Purple's playing a ridiculous timing. I thought that was the teammate. But no, Wayne is the Omen player on site. And he's dead and buried along with the rest. Crostali retrieves a rifle and puts right after the pistol round.
I mean, this just is so indicative of how FUT want to play all together. I mean, the fact that they're only on pistols does not matter. Team Liquid completely bottle that round. And into the next, they bring a Guardian and a heavy shield as some way to alleviate what will be a full buy for FUT.
30 seconds.
Let's go!
I literally, looking at Purpo's POV, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Omen and a Sky player left. It's just walking with his teammate back through Garage. Playing another crazy discipline. Does find the kill this time. And for Liquid, I mean, this is a real kick in the teeth after finding such early success. On Breeze, they were able to win at least the first 4 rounds. FUT retaliating with 8 of their own.
Go, go, go.
Still though, Team Liquid are scaling very slowly overall. Still want to head towards Seam. FUT have got a decent read on this, but it's only Purple who's the real danger man in terms of weaponry. That Guardian in hand.
Here's the big player in the previous games they've had this stage. Purple brings the site open. Comes crumbling down that site hold from FUT. The rifles need to be dished around here, and Camo's the first to pick one up. Nats left with just the pistol. Playing from Garage, but Sop doesn't find the lineup. And so Crostali needs another 3K, because we've gone back-to-back, and Liquid this time with the Thrifty.
Great round from Team Liquid to come straight back in, and once again, it's that main man, Purple. Lovely shots overall, and he was the danger man, right? The rifle man coming straight in. The Guardian hitting the heads that he needs to. So he flips the script back to what it was, what it should have been. And it ends up being a little bit weird, right? Now FUT are the ones on a low buy, it becomes like a bonus round. Still have to be careful of Zeus though, surely it won't happen a third time, right?
You'd hope not. It's sort of in these rounds as well where I want to see what Liquid's game plan is with this Phoenix. Camo is just one away from getting a run it back. And actually, Crostali applying thick pressure through this ultimate. Does tag onto Nats, and Zeus pre-firing through the wall. Is able to take him out of play, but Liquid collapse upon the issue. And they've done a brilliant job to get past it.
Yeah, and that's the cons of what FUT or how FUT want to play, right? Sometimes it looks great, sometimes it looks like that last round. And sure, players are on pistols, caught off guard. Zeus nearly going to be the defining factor in this. Crostali Sheriff, yeah, unless he was going to be laser tight on the crosshair, it was never going to happen. So Liquid up to 3.
And coming back to what I was saying about the Phoenix, this is now where Liquid's meta read is showing us a lot more of it. I think Paper X were one of the few teams actually running the agent at the end of last year with their Corrode. Gentlemate's obviously another regional adoptee. And now that they've got the run it back online, this is where you can start to throw bodies at stuff early, make a bit of a commitment, and it looks like they are trying to split C through Garage. This has been an area of the map which they've constantly tested so far.
I've got your
Looking to continue on. That run it back immediately stopped. And 2 ultimates that won't necessarily find a whole bunch of value unless Miniboo decides to make himself be the value man. Straight towards the back of side. 9 players getting back in. Nice kills overall. Team Liquid have that C site for themselves.
So the round count continuing to increase. Sociable has nothing to do with it, and I think the same will be said for Crystali here, who looks to save it out. Liquid accelerating into that C plate. And once again, it's Miniboo who is the star of the show. I think his Neons looked absolutely fantastic so far, and we always knew this was a great agent for him. Think all the way back to kickoff 2024 with Heretics. And the fact that that's now become such a consistent part of where we're at in stage one, it's looking really nice for Liquid.
Yeah, key component. I think towards this much more W key play style. But an in-zone flawless for Team Liquid off the back of what has been just continuous C execution.
And that's really frustrating for Crystali to lose the rifle there as well, as we will be heading into the first FUT timeout of this, because that's one weapon that they won't have to build around. The money reset again.
Nice, Tommy.
Yeah, it's really nicely done. And it comes really like this run of form now, these last couple rounds, through one man himself, right? It comes through to get FUT's first round. Will it be Pistols to get the second round? That's the question here. The answer is probably no, but Zeus does have his blades, and that's why we're going to see him buy up a heavy shield. And Sop supporting him in this endeavour.
Yeah, one from the FUT strat book. Recon dart over the top. Use that in your rank games if you want.
Cheers, mate.
Don't think your Jet's going to be as good as Zeus, unfortunately.
You never know.
Rainer in there as well. Clove, you know how it goes.
Well, it seems to be, though, that FUT are going to move their way over towards the A site, following what Team Liquid want to do. But that Spike not necessarily committed just yet.
Yeah, and I like this use of the ultimate from Wayne as well. It leaves FUT second-guessing. You can see Liquid still just walking out of their own spawn. They haven't made much progress off of the barriers.
Oh, I don't know if I like
has the blades, though.
Yeah.
It's this B site, which is now put under the microscope.
Zeus just dropping off. The really bolt not catching him, but the blades catching Miniboo. And even trade in the end, but on the B side, that's where you want your pistols, right? That's where you really want to try and cause an issue. Team Liquid, though, begin to make their post plan a little bit drawn out, in towards that B main portion.
Yeah, Camo would love to farm up some of these orbs in post as well. We were talking about the Phoenix. He's only going to get one, and it's for his own bloody death. So with Sop removing him and this recon through the wall looking nasty, Wayne has to make something happen, and he will. 3 picked up. Sociable has recovered a Phantom here, and I mean, he's got his own smoke to play around, so now there's a problem. Purpo, the player we were just talking about, has to come up in the clutch against the captain. Flash straight in the face, and with tag damage around the corner, time is dwindling. Sociable needs this kill now, and he can't cut it out of the corner. So Liquid carry on, and it's through Purpo again.
It's up to 5, the Liquid go 4 rounds in a row. That's what it took for FUT to answer back. And remember, we have had a timeout from the defensive side. Will this now be where we see the response?
Good job!
Operator out for Sop, and that also felt like a defining moment on Breeze when we saw that on the defense.
I mean, and on the attack, to be honest. This guy is looking like he's putting up the best performances right now with a sniper in his hands and already a lobby under that threat exactly.
Look at the space he's got.
Plenty of it. And with Crystali just dropping info in behind here, the reclear is slow, the shoulder of Miniboo spotted, Sop gets away, and it's just a rolling retreat. Not allowing Liquid to take an inch.
And they're respecting that. So now FUT have information to try and decide the rest of the setup. Team Liquid decide that they're going to try and work towards C once again.
And when you look at this double duelist as well, Zeus never really felt like that op player, so just having this second dimension to it on some of these rounds is nice, but here is the Vandal in his hands. Top side of C, and that's Wayne taken out early. Sociable on a nasty little off angle here, watching the walk up through Garage, and he's got 2 targets to face up against. Purpo is the easy collection. Nat's a little more gnarly. twice the players to stand against them, but it is only Zeus with boots on the ground for C right now. He's having no trouble, like a hot knife through butter. No blades this time, but the Vandal does the talking.
Yeah, I think that's just Zeus in a nutshell. With such a defensive side duelist last year, it was always the other half that we demanded more of him, and that's where Sopper's really helping out. But you can see here, the C site is his domain and no one is entering into it.
Sop's now got the ult up as well, and that's when it switches again, and Sop is the tip of the spear going in. So we'll have to see what happens. 4-1 setup here from FUT on the defender's side. As you can see, they'll be looking to overload A lobby as much as possible, stop this liquid progression again.
It's denial through Zeus this time, not through the operator.
Huge catch.
And it's a second prong to the approaches. Now Team Liquid take on B, and it's just Miniboo alone, but look at the spike, nowhere near this site.
Crystalli is just tracking the situation. It's only Miniboo that's managed to get across so far. He's a bit of an insert, and FUT will have to clear this. They've droned him out, in fact.
Oh, Yetaji has caught a glimpse as Miniboo escapes just in towards grass, and the rest of Team Liquid make movement, but that ultimate right there from Yetaji could decide the round.
I mean, he's not wasting any time to go check off the back of it, is he?
No, he's certainly not. And now the operator on the line through CT. Sop working his way in. Zeus in from Garage. Team Liquid, where do you go? What poison do you choose? Because it's a real problem at this moment in time. Wayne at least manages to get Yetaji, but Zeus and Crystalli in at the right time. Up to Miniboo. Can he find any more? No, he can't. And take FUT up to 3.
FUT really feeling that fire now in a week which has shown the Turkish teams change the status in that hierarchy. Eternal Fire on the rise, of course, and FUT, the premier institution from years gone by, and for international appearances, no one comes close. This new set of faces, led by Sociable, though, are starting to grow into the game, and it's at this point really where you want to see Liquid find a way to shut that down. Is it through a timeout? Do talks have to be held? Because right now, in and amongst the chaos, FUT are thriving.
This time, the A-lobby fight giving up, and Sociable has just escaped the turrets with managing to move down mid, and Team Liquid know nothing about it.
Sociable is playing as the contact really here. Zeus, or should I say, is ready the other way round. Three-pronged approach in mid, and actually the Jet player does give it up, but it's exactly on this timing when moves are being made elsewhere. Miniboo, maybe a bit of a fake towards A. No, the spike now committed.
It's a big point to hold down the site. Zeus managing to keep himself alive, but it's Crystalli instead. Flashed up and caught. Now Sop's shorting, he can't get much more. And we look towards the captain.
Ooh, another round where Sociable is arriving late. And you can already see Liquid are catering the post plant to it. Very quick collection of information.
Nicely done. So what can Sociable give us in this point in time? Had a good year last year with BBL. Switched allegiances now on towards FUT. Doesn't look as if he's going to get much here at all. A full bill of utility, Paranoia still there, and giving away his position with the alarm bot destruction. Still taking his time on the pickup, but time is now starting to be his enemy. He doesn't have any more left, and that's going to give Team Liquid their 6th.
Yeah, just not a possibility for Sociable there. Liquid carrying on, and this was, you know, a good round from the duelists, really. Their own take on the meta, as I've said. Miniboo and Camo both finding kills, and in this all-out brawl, finally there is some calm in the chaos. I like the reactions in those moments, and yeah, it's a lot of umming and ahhing on the FUT side. That one goes through the language barrier, I imagine.
Yeah, definitely. But
other than the fact Vlad speaks English, but if you...
And Bambino is from Sheffield, like, come on! Well, anyway, there's going to be a lockdown dropped as Team Liquid once again want to hold on towards that middle portion, but it's elsewhere that FUT make inroads.
So, leading this pack in behind. Nats is going to catch the first of them, the first to expect such a position, but he does fall after his initial involvement. And once again, I speak of those protocols on the Liquid side.
Just making their way up. Sop, the leading line once again. Has that really bolt? Has a slide.
But Liquid have adjusted to their position. A-Link is where they're holding from, but Sop does find the extra. Cristali follows it up, and actually, there's no one here to defend the plant. Minibu trying his best, but he will not succeed this time around. And so FUT have fought, and just when I was saying that Liquid looked like they had what it took in that situation, they were set up on the wrong side of the site.
And I want to talk to you about this map right now, because FUT up to 4, Haven always typically that attacker-sided, what we expected. What do you think's enough for FUT? Do you think 4, 5, 6?
It's hard to say, because I think historically FUT have always been a fantastic defensive team. Big component of that, Yetege, and he is struggling so far in terms of performance compared to the rest.
Yeah, win this. Nice! Come on! Nice!
A lot more conclusive this time around. Yeah, I think one more round here would probably do them justice.
Especially trying to get through, mitigate, or run it back. The Seekers, even Minibu's overdrive, right? The Neon ultimate. Key components that Team Liquid could tip the odds in their favour towards the end of this first half.
Sop just sitting in the smoke for now, but before it expires, he drops back and Camo will collect. Zeus, the one with the scope weapon this time, delivers a bullet to Minibu, but it's the Blades that will have to do the talking now. Classic out to stop the Seekers, knives in his hands! Zeus does it all! And with Nats left in a 1v2, there is still possibility to this. Sociable ready for a swing though, and with that, FUT put it to a close.
That one round you spoke about, FUT are able to get it, and also that's when Team Liquid pushed all of their ultimates to the middle of the felt. All in they went, Seekers run it back, and they never got the value. So with one round left to play, and one round between these two teams, I think we could end up with a tied game heading into that second half.
You're very right. Dead heat anticipated as the final round of the half about to happen, and you can see FUT continuing to apply the pressure. Here's the Outlaw of Zeus. Nothing found this time. Sop has one of his own, and Sociable's actually walked all the way down middle. Kill picked up. Nats leaves his head hanging, and Sociable finds another.
How does Team Liquid respond to this? Sociable's looking for more.
Just doesn't know when he's beaten. Still, that same BBL blood running through his veins, the aggression that they've shown. Has to TP away. Has support on this deeper line. Camo able to collect a couple, but the Hunter's Fury that does drop in. As you say, this is getting out of hand. Sop in the right position to play spoiler to it all. The stun will land at Purpo's feet, and the shorty should have done it all, no!
Health in favour of Cristali. He's a while away, so that plan will at least go down.
Is this a shot kill? Yes, it is! Cristali bounces it around off the wall and wags his finger in the direction of Purpo. Not this time. It will be even Stevens out of the opening 12.
And commendations need to be given to FUT once again, being able to bounce back from a pretty tough start to this first half.
Absolutely has been, but FUT now putting themselves in a great position to not only top the group, but take to playoffs. The questions that we had for them coming into this stage slowly being answered game by game. Liquid in front of them though, a huge half, and we'll see you after the break.
Feels almost like this should be their day.
You look at this Liquid team, for example, and we know they've been good in pistol rounds so far. 90% win rate is ridiculous, but just across the faces of the players there, where does the lift come from? Who's bringing the boost? Sop, well, gives away a free confidence hit there, but there is follow-up, and They get their revenge.
Yeah, and they get the sight. So Spike can go down, advantage in FUT's favour, but with Crystalli so low, and it being a pistol round, that could really change in a moment's notice.
A pistol round win here. FUT's first in this series would come at no better time. The scoreline locked as it stands. And looking at this retake, a couple Sheriffs on the Liquid side can cause a threat. Crystalli is still low. He makes up the default hold, and Yetterjay's being clipped away at here as well. But time is of the essence, and those shots need to be hit. Purpo finding the first between the eyes of Sociable, but Yetterjay is there playing backfiller. Purpo another, but it will not suffice in the end. FUT's first pistol is the biggest yet.
It is. Could that be the way to kick on from here now? It's always been a response after the pistol round. Team Liquid, could that be the stake to the heart?
Yet to be seen. Of course, plenty more to come in this one. But it's all about momentum now. And just coming back to what I was saying in that build-up out of the half, I look at this Liquid team, and we know Nats is a great motivator in some ways,
yes.
right? And I think the speeches that he gives come from a place of you know, professionalism and that desire to want to get the best from his players. But in terms of emotional leaders, I'm then wondering when this dejection starts to seep into the Liquid camp, who is it that's raising the spirits? And that's really what I wanted to say. What is it that's going to get them back into this one when things start to get muggy?
That's a good flash. Well, the players can't really get out towards CT though. SOP eager to get more. And at the end of the day, FUT have exactly what they wanted. Nearly every single ultimate orb, and that's looking to deny the last just by hanging back. And I have to agree, Hazza, in terms of emotional leaders, who's going to be the one to pick that energy up? You want to make comparisons towards a game later, who's going to be your boasters, right? When you're looking for that real energy that isn't coming through your gameplay.
Yeah, your boasters, your Starsos, right? We've seen what a difference that can make.
Yeah.
I'm not calling out anyone here, but I think that on the Liquid side at times it does feel a little bit cold. So we'll just have to see how that carries on here. Because now we're at the watershed moment. We can talk as long as we like about FUT and playoffs, but that doesn't become a reality if they don't win one of these next two maps. And a bonus round here with the weapons that they have, Stinger on SOP suggests something quick.
I'd have to agree, but on a Neon, what else is there to do, right? It always feels like it's going to be quick, and that's exactly the case. Through Sewers, that's the entry through Zeus. His 20th kill so far this map, and that's all it's going to be at this moment in time. Denied through the round. Still two rifles to play with if you're FUT.
That's the lesson that FUT have to learn there. The initial aggression is great. You've got a triple dive with Sociable TPing in as well, but at what point do you then start to recoil a little bit? That's a lesson that Liquid had to learn at Santiago and what Lohan was talking about earlier.
Sociable moving the players around the map though with just one smoke. He could walk in towards that A site himself if he really wanted to.
And I like this call as well. Yetterjay creating the pressure front B, forcing a reclear from Liquid. That opens up the A site. A chance for them to walk in, get a free plant, and, well, Post is going to be a player down for them, but how much more real estate do they take off this?
That's the question, right? You need one back in their favour. Also the fact you have rifles to work with. This isn't as clear-cut a round as you would have thought at the start.
Yeah, especially looking at Crystalli's utility belt, but he's the one planting. Paranoia for Wayne, goes traded with one back. Sociable trying to chase it up, misses the TP on the boost. 8 bullets from up close, has to land almost every one, so it's down to the sidearm, and the spam still finding answers. And just for a moment you thought there was a shock on the horizon, but Liquid can weather that storm in the end.
Do they weather the storm? It feels like they get into dock, but it's going to be a big repair job into the next round. What do you have in terms of a buy? FUT now, this is where you think about momentum, and a job well done in terms of the bonus round, because this next round is a swing round in their favour.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at the money, it is rough for both sides. 3 players on less than 1,000 credits, a few on that waterline. So FUT with another quick play. This time, the target is middle. Wayne is here trying to play off the alarm bot, but at what point do you just fully concede it?
I mean, Sop's not caring. He's just going to go straight in, go for that plant. He's denied, though. Wayne within the corner, not cleared, given a chance. So now, FUT have to try and fight for this back. Sociable doesn't have his ult.
I mean, the fast lane just doesn't last long enough to give him real coverage there. I know there's spam to try and support it, but what tools do FUT have left to recover? This feels like one of those rounds that you get in ranked where the spike is dropped front B and it's from this point on, okay.
Yeah, but
how do we solve this early problem?
If you're talking about my ranked games, if I was the defensive team, I'd still lose. But at this point in time, you're feeling like this is a impossible nut to crack.
But you basically just have to re-hit the site, but Liquid know exactly where you're going. And with Nats having the turret in Garage and the backline already covered here by Camo as well, it's only a moment's time before the execute comes in. Here is the Hunter's Fury laying up Zeus, but without Sop, that follow-up is just nowhere to be seen. For as good as both of them were in tandem, FUT without either in this situation now. Sociable can cover distance, but he has to find kills and it's already started onto Nats. No more than that for now. Liquid have their equalizer.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty frustrating round if you're FUT, and one that maybe you just brush off, right? Never would you, in your wildest dreams, have imagined that that would have happened, and I'm surprised that Sociable never put a smoke on top of it. I mean, Wayne within that corner.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Liquid starting to get it right, and that's the sort of fire that we want to see from them. Different players responding to motivation in different ways, of course, but whatever's happened over these last couple of rounds has clearly been enough. And with considerable numbers towards A and utility dropped at the start, Yetu's roam is cut short.
Wayne, he can give this one up. He can't allow the site to fall. That's why he's called for Nats on towards logs. It's Zeus, though, to unlock, try and cut it open. Nats now having to hold on. It's a player you can rely upon as he looks to try and dance around the edge, but he falls to a shock dart. So it's Miniboo and Camel with flashes in pocket. Yeah, exactly.
Seeker's chasing this play up. It's a Purpo that they will head. Sociable with a risky TP. It's not gone his way. Still Camo chasing this. Do they want to go A? It feels like Liquid should already know, and they do.
Yeah, FUT playing exactly into Liquid's hands, and from heaven, Miniboo gets the next kill. That could be the deciding one. Where's Yetajay?
Yeah, I mean, Killjoy setup's down. He has a lurk timing here, and actually Yetajay just spots Camo walking over towards the other site.
Doesn't have a rifle,
30
though,
seconds left.
and that is the issue.
I think that the biggest difference so far in this round has been Miniboo and how quickly he's getting to these sites. He has a slide on the retake, and I think that little bit of gap close to break any kind of crossfire, which of course isn't going to exist, is everything here.
Well, the camera doesn't get the information, flashed and destroyed, and Crystalli running for the hills, looking to play in Yetajay. I don't think he's got the time, and I think that Liquid know about it, and well, they do now, after that one bullet from Purple. Crystalli now has to be the one to clutch up from main, and he has to try and deny the defuse. Half sure, but there needs to be more bodies put on the line. Yetajay gone, Crystalli can't take the defuser off the spike, and it goes Team Liquid's way. FUT with a massive opportunity missed.
Liquid really showing their experience in these scenarios. Not hot-headed at all about how they approach them. Miniboo doing such a great job as that second in on almost every site hold. Stun arrives at the perfect time on C. He's there with Camo. Another great start from FUT, but I think in a lot of these rounds, we're just seeing Sop go down far too early without value. It's had to have been Zeus, where both of them were online on Breeze. That 1-2 punch is just the one for now.
And after that pistol round win, what's really come after it, right? When we've got to these rifle rounds, that's basically the deciding factor here, the majority of it. And do we need another timeout for FUT to course correct? Slowly making their way on towards the site. Yetaji is detached from the main pack.
They don't want to dig in their heels here. FUT, they want to go ahead and scour the entire of C-Link to find another Purpo core flash in hand. Just able to step back for a moment, but Zeus left as a reminder of their authority. Trades in effect, and Wayne's reposition is spotted ahead of time.
That's massive. Now, both players have to try and come from CT, come together.
I mean, Wayne's still alive here with smokes, so FUT should understand they can't afford to drop too far back. Slight anticipation with Nats around that the lockdown would have been used, but it is only Wayne now. And he's going to be caught by Sociable on the site itself. So we're back on even terms, and FUT did a brilliant job there, taking their fights and winning them this time.
Yeah, they did. And with that, we are going to get a timeout coming through. A chance to sit down and talk about things for Team Liquid as they are the ones to initiate the talks in this second half. And as we spoke about in the first
particular, we do need to see improvements made towards the lower end for FUT. It does feel very top heavy through Zeus, and that's looking back at what some of the issues were for them at the latter end of last year.
It seems that SOP is going to be picking up the scope weaponry that was so successful on the attack on Breeze.
One of the reasons why Liquid call the timeout is that this is their eco. Gun round coming up in just a little bit. They need plans if they want to stop FUT from snowballing this, and already that highlighted player Purpo has been removed. That is a first death that he won't be happy to receive.
No, he will not. And Wayne once again at the back of Plat. He's played here before and it was just to rid him of his position, but it's Miniboot out with an ultimate. And this is a little bit interesting because there's perhaps a rifle to pick up on that default spot.
Yeah. But FUT are just holding the line, and they don't want to peek this. They're just waiting for Miniboot's ult to expire so they can look for a re-hit. The flank is held using the trap wire, so Camo's deep position in mid only serves the purpose of information for these last two Liquid players.
Yeah, but the last two Liquid players are all alone on site, and that's the issue, right? These two need to combine to take down four. And well, it's only going to be Nats left. He's had to go for the reload. The worst circumstances possible, but the best circumstances for FUT.
It's the round which they should have been expected to win, and they've done that now. There was trouble in the way, but they have managed to handle it well. Liquid posing multiple threats in this follow-up round, though. Op out for Miniboo, couple of ults to play around. We haven't really seen the value from Nats and this lockdown so far. He's been holding on to it for a while. Can't even really recall seeing it all too much on the attack half either. I know it's a lot of orbs, but other than being able to hold down multiple lanes, it's that kit which is important. On an A retake, most likely. In fairness, we've not seen one.
Yeah, it's the retake that's going to be most potent for Liquid on this next one. Nats has put himself in a position, though. You can see that Camo was supporting this, and he's still within the corner, calling for Camo to get back. That smoke going to stop everything. You can see trying to run for the hills. Sop still gets a kill and the second, and on towards the C site. Miniboot, operator in hand, can't quite get his opposite number. So FUT into post.
Quite a lot of damage taken on board by FUT here, though. Multiple players under 50 HP.
Yeah, and you look towards that retake, it's not as potent as what we once thought. Those ultimates offline. And information in terms of the Cypher ultimate being used. Yeah. You can see right now this post-plant success rate, very good for FUT.
I mean, 50% is good enough. And when you contrast that to Liquid on their retakes, as we saw on Breeze, the general statistic is that, yeah, it's an area, a paradigm of their game where they've struggled. This is cheeky from Sop. He has walked past the other two players, so actually, Miniboo just thinking about the possibility of a timing. It's not out of the realms.
It's not. But I think he'll be safe within the corner, so at least Team Liquid come into the next round with a majority on a buy, on a rifle. And yeah, at 2-round gap, very good. And Team Liquid very quickly has it. Going to use their second timeout.
Now, this,
And the question, yeah.
it is a problem, but
and
we've got to get down to this round, though, because this is the most important one that Liquid will play in the series so far. We've spoken about what they've got, but it's Purpo solo on A that is the biggest exploit that FUT can make, and they've identified it.
Yeah, they know. That one flash identifies a player that is close to the site on short, but FUT decide against it and head elsewhere.
Liquid not bending under this initial pressure, though, and Purpo has a fantastic timing to re-clear using the Trailblazer. And with that, he will have safety in mind that A is okay for now, and as he backs up, you know that Nats has the lockdown, so this is a valid approach.
And you can see the positions for Liquid so far back in terms of the site. They're not trying to hold and fight towards any of these main points. You can see Miniboo is very good at finding value through his operator, and he's the one that's under fire right now. But it's just the pressure making for FUT continuing on. Where do they go next? Time is getting low. The next decision has to be their execute.
And it is towards the C site where they will go. Miniboo, the makeup of this defensive hold. Nats investing the ultimate, and with that, it's a bit of a disruptor. FUT a decision to make. Commitment to the plant is made. And Liquid trying to rally off the back of this. Zeus, the timing is terrible as he turns his head. He's caught by Nats, and now FUT drop back.
Liquid do have smokes up as well, and that's why they're just holding the defuse, Hazza. Nobody there to stop it. It's double digits for Liquid, and a blunder by FUT.
Not the first time that FUT have maybe failed to recognize a win condition. Of course, the lockdown, the biggest issue for them there. Nats getting maximum return when we finally see it invested. But no pop, back out that smoke, just believing that the spam would be enough. And such an important win for Liquid, just stoking the embers here.
Yeah. If I got a euro for every single time that Liquid had just held defuse this series, I'd have 2. But it's a bit strange that it's happened twice now. The fact that FUT haven't made any sort of adjustments to it. We're straight back into the next round, though.
And Miniboo this time joins Purpo on A as that second layer. Building on what had found them success in the previous. Purpo recognizing that A is open, leaving Miniboo behind here in sewers, allows a heavier rotation, one which will be needed. The C site under threat again.
And once again, Nats is going to be the one to try and hold on towards site. And once again, he may be the downfall because advantage is given to FUT, and that's a post plan.
Into this retake, of course, Miniboo does have the op, so whether that gets traded out, it's yet to be seen. Camo, a flash, and Molly, plenty of tools to work with here.
Yeah, they're trying to fling it all in just to break entry into the site. But look at FUT. The rifles are active. The players are ready. They want to end it here. Miniboo trying to clutch up. And that's a real chance. 1 versus 1 against Crystalli. That info dart giving it away. Crystalli should know now. Nobody on the spike. That tap to try and beat him out. And it still goes Miniboo's way. We're all even once again. Regulation is needed.
Complete misplay from FUT in the 3v1. And Miniboo makes maximum punishment with a Red Bull clutch. Family in attendance. A nod from the brother. They're loving every moment of it.
Yeah, but the round previous will be playing on Crystalli's mind. He'll be thinking, what if he's just sticking it?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the VAR, the red card, is on Yetage. And he's...
Team Liquid trying to deny that. This is a chance to try and claim the king of the group title.
Yeah, and all but guarantee it for themselves in the process.
Flash, and we go towards A, and look at the utility that's been set up by Team Liquid. Well stocked. Nats playing towards the back of site, not wanting to get caught out, which for the most part he has this series.
I mean, it's a complete change-up now without the lockdown in play, so the mind game's going on here for Liquid. Nats known for his Cypher over the years, but with a setup strong in front of them, what have FUT got to get past it? Crystalli has both shocks, but is there enough to deal? with this?
That's the big question, right?
Are 5 players enough for Nats?
I mean, it's been one player that's been enough for Nats, and that's been either Zeus or Sop. Ping out where the alarm bot is, and Nats is respecting this. He does not want to get caught out, wants to play the 5v5, and the Nano's just doing chip damage overall. And we're going into 5 alive for either side and post.
Yep, fully concedes the site, not wanting to be penalized, and so what utility do Liquid have on the way back in? There's blinds for both sides. Those could go traded. Camo trying to jump in from the heavens, stunned up at the feet. There was Sop and FUT in the end, find the kills in the feed. But these rounds haven't been a certainty for them so far. Another 3v1, this time it's Wayne gets the first, can't find the second. Yetege makes amends, and so FUT will finally have series point.
A one-round shootout between series win and overtime. A massive round to come out. Tension has it. Can you live up to the pressure for either side?
Get out of my...
I mean, I love the molly lineup there from Camo, but FUT are so well prepared for this push out. The jump from heaven from Purpo, it's difficult to find value from. The Neon, of course, can slide across default. And here's another quick piece from FUT. Oh, actually missed the cancel there, did Purpo, but does find the all-important shot onto Sop, who has materialized in front of him. All bodies on Liquid here, and the side defense is concrete.
Spike on Mini Boo. Sociable the one to try and clear it, does so successfully.
Wait. Yeah, just re-engages and finds it cleanly. Camo is low, no tools to heal himself. And with Purpo out of the picture, 5 HP is all he's got to work with.
Yeah, Sociable wishing he never used the ultimate early in the round.
Would be the one way to get the spike back, so instead they've got to go the long way round. Yetege doesn't have a cage. Sociable's waiting for his own cover to come up. But the longer this takes, the more Liquid start to think about the possibility that this could be somewhere else. Fortunately for Nats, he has the tools to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Stuck his turret and his alarm bot to watch his back, watch towards that link position. But it's still a reposition for FUT.
30 seconds
Players
left.
now retaking through the same avenue. Smoke used, and Camo just sneaks through it. Bit of an awkward timing. Yetege wants to re-clear this, but both kills light up on the Liquid side. And overtime is asked of them now. They've done very well to battle back into this, but with the odds that FUT had, you feel as if they should have been home and dry.
Yes, I agree, Hazard, but I think overtime is compliments to both teams on this map so far. They've played excellently. But it's who comes out on top, and really, who breaks that defensive round first. That's where my mind goes. Relief on the faces of Team Liquid's fans.
Into the fan zone now.
What?
Just gonna say, Boo's a fan now. Oh, I was just kidding.
Okay.
Into the first round of overtime. And looking at here, I mean, there's an op-out for Sop again. This was a huge win condition from them before.
Once again, no, they're baiting for Zeus. Not cleared in the corner. Do Team Liquid consider it? Seems Wayne's first start, and he can't live up to it. Zeus is out, an advantage taken.
Huge from FUT, and Liquid are trying to follow this up. Purpo goes down, and now there are serious issues.
Well, we put importance on this defensive round win, and FUT seemed to have cracked it straight away, the operator being the big component.
We'd only seen Liquid go for this fast A-take a couple of times, and obviously you're trying to build that synergy between your duelists. It's really Purpo that is flashing for Miniboo more than anyone else, just based on the amount of ground that he's able to cover. So a re-hit back in here still requires aggression, and Sociable has to be tempered in his approach.
Molly's missed. So while he's tempered in his approach, he's still able to hold on towards his line. Camo taking a late approach as the spike goes down.
That's playing on the front foot. This is exactly what Liquid need to turn this one on its head, and you can see FUT still thinking about it.
Yeah, Yetiji, the one marked to try and guard the back line as they come out of CT. Miniboo now gives himself away on the rifle shot to grab him. 2 versus 5. This would be the biggest of tasks. In fact, it has to be all on Camel. A flash out. The player's not going to try and grab him, but the defuse coming through. It ends up being a double for Camel, but it's still around for FUT in the end.
Just trading off the play there. One of the biggest improvements we've seen to FUT is the improvement on the micro and just trading these situations out. If it's Sop fighting first or Zeus in behind, anyone else can have their moment. And you can also see here as well that really there have been improvements now. Yetij's finding a couple of kills, Sop as well, and once more, need I remind you, if FUT win this round, they are the first team in EMEA playoffs.
It's a massive part, a massive round. The weight being felt by the players of either side, right? That's the big thing here. Is Team Liquid walk up into A lobby, about to face each other. Miniboo win! Team Liquid have their chance. As Sop comes into the smoke, trying to fight back. And leaves Yetiji all alone to try and fight for that spike.
Has a cage, but that's about it.
And the fans showing their appreciation for keeping themselves alive. Yetiji waiting for the smoke to go for his chance to take the next fight. As time ticks away. Plenty of smoke's been thrown. He wants to be, or Team Liquid want him to be at a disadvantage.
That Phoenix will last forever, I swear.
That's the issue.
With the smoke replenished and the alarm bot heard by Yetiji, he knows he's unlikely to win this.
Well, he wins the first. And wants to try and get rid of that alarm bot to take the next fight, and he's done so successfully, clearing out what 2 players to find, and he can't get them. So Team Liquid even things out, and we go another round of overtime.
Yeah, it's 2 rounds in a row now where we've seen it all come down to this A main fight and how both teams are approaching the situation. Up close and personal in the smoke. Wayne finds a double, and just looking at it here, it's a second kill on the same spray intended for Sociable.
1 enemy remaining.
Crostali catches a stray.
Nice, oh my god.
And it's relief more than anything else.
Just shows you what overtime can do, especially for Team Liquid being in this position. And I mean, Vlad, his approach will be towards, I guess, and Lohan's about this attack side and how you have to try and manage and deal with what was the operator on FUT, but it's no longer the case.
Early wall up from Liquid, doubling down on their approach, but Sop wins the opening duel, and not only that, it is completely untraded.
And the spike being dropped would have been heard or announced by the announcer. Sociable once again aggressive through mid, announcing himself, but Team Liquid tried to take the site and foothold.
Further spacing issues for Liquid on their execution. It just feels like they're caught in 2 minds. Nat's on a re-clear after Sociable, making his presence felt in middle. And again, the A lobby fight collapses. Purpo, awkward timing, dropping out of window! But FUT just leave themselves hanging, and it's another opportunity that could be missed for them here.
Yeah, they have to rotate all the way over, but Team Liquid take their time. They know they have to take these fights.
It's on Sop, as it has been a few times, to stretch the Liquid line and let the rest get played back through.
But he has no more utility.
Does have the movement at the very least. And I mean, Yetiji's trap's still up here, so they know that the players are still inside the site, and Sop, with the first engagement, finds no problem at all. Crostali right there with him. And again, FUT will get their chance at closing this series.
Yeah, Purple making that round doable, but it's the decisions on the C site that's the big question, right? You can see that both Purple and Nats want to try and take the next fight together rather than attempting a spike plan. But it all ends up being on the lonesome. It's well played by FUT.
Just a bit of a disconnect again, though, on the Liquid side, and now with this being FUT's 3rd series point, 3rd chance to crown themselves top of Alpha. Instead, FUT the ones that win the opening duels. Purple left behind on A, he's the only one this time, and the one at most threat.
Qualification to playoffs can be within FUT's sight. Purple, again, as you said, the only man on A. The flashes have missed, but as he takes steps forward, that means he can clear more of the map. And that's why Team Liquid at this moment in time keep 2 players towards the C site.
Nats has got a bit of a setup here as well with those nanos. Odin in his hands. We've seen this gun brought out on a couple of occasions in the region. Even Wayne playing off the shoulder with Paranoia. If they want to go for it, are Liquid all in on this site hold? Looks like it. Wayne the one to fire off first. FUT need the follow-up. Oh, and Sop is so dangerously low, but still, they get away with it, and the payload coming in, the plant will survive.
Purple has a full belt to get them back into sight, but how do you retake with an Odin?
5 seconds on that second flash. One might just do the trick, but Nats has to be quick on these kills because Sop has his... Oh, how? No, he's going to punish it. Just like that. Liquid get another one back in, and well, for FUT, it's been a brilliant road up until this point, but another opportunity to close cannot go wasted. Zeus will make no mistake. Yet a Jace there to sign on the dotted line. Your first team in EMEA playoffs is FUT.
A fantastic result.